question would be the an elementary school issue, housing issue in relation to the proposed new Swan Pond School. And then the fourth question again would be the schematic design plans for the middle and high school to move forward to get better construction cost estimates for those two projects, which are going to have to be addressed in the not too distant future. Again, one of the reasons for moving the timing of our meeting up again to tonight was so that the board can take positions on these and let the public know where we stand in relation to these issues. Again, Mr. Rowe is unable to attend this evening. He had a prior commitment with his wife this evening, and he has forwarded his positions in relation to the proposals on the ballot, which I will be expressing on his behalf. Yes, sir. Mr. Vino.
Mr. Chairman, I have to question that. I have never seen a proxy vote given on a ballot question or anything like this on this board.
I'm not saying that the vote will be counted on, Mr. Rowe's vote will be counted, but his views will be expressed. He asked me the other night if he could forward to me where he stands on the issue so that he can inform the public as to where he stands, but as far as the official vote of the board, it's
so
those
we will
present
not give
voting.
in.
Pardon me?
So we will not give an in favor or opposed on his behalf then, correct?
He is stating, he has given to me that what his position is on each one of the proposals.
So when it comes down to voting on it, who's going to vote for Mr. Rowe?
Nobody.
Oh.
It'll be those present and voting.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's what the official record has, but I told Mr. Rowe that I would.
Oh, I have no problem with his opinions being read. I thought he was going to be allowed to vote in proxy.
No.
I'd be home tonight.
Yeah, I would too.
Nobody be here.
I guess I'd have to adjourn the meeting. But let's take them in ballot order. And again, the board set the ballot order a few months ago. First ballot question would be the question in relation to the police station proposal, which is to construct a new police station at the current site. It would involve, again, taking down the existing portion of the public safety building, which now houses the police department, and building a new structure right there on that particular site, expanded with additional space needed to meet the needs of the police station for the foreseeable future. And I think initially, again, the board has expressed at town meeting our support for this proposal, and town meeting urged everybody to support that particular article. Any comments in relation to question one? Mr. Baker.
Yeah, I'd just like to ask Mr. Younger if there's been any new information from the architect or anything since we last met?
They did the tests. I haven't received the results yet.
Okay, thank you.
And I know Mr. Reitmeyer from the police station building is also here from the police station building committee. And, Mr. Reitmeyer.
Yeah.
Are you vice chair?
Vice chair.
Vice chair.
Chair or
Yeah,
vice?
Vice
Vice chair.
chair. In reference to Mr. Bacon's statement, this is unofficial, Mr. Bacon. I stopped down there the day they were drilling, and I spoke to one of the, drillers, and they were out back there, and he says, "What'd you find?" He says, "Lots of water," which they expected.
Yeah,
But he says they found good stuff at 18 feet. I says, "Does that mean you can put a building up?" He goes, "I see nothing wrong because he's not the architect."
Right.
He's a driller.
Yeah.
It's unofficial. So, but he said there was good stuff. This is in the back where the concern was. That 18 feet, there was good stuff. And that's, but so, like Mr. Younger said, we have no official report from that yet.
Yeah, it's important to note that the town administrator and the police station building committee insisted that the architectural firm go forward with the borings first before we spend any other money on anything else to find out exactly whether or not to what extent feasibility, or what obstacles we may be facing in relation to the soils below the surface. How close to China do we have to get in order to build a building on top? And that, of course, would drive the cost. But again, initially, doesn't look too bad. Hopefully, that's right. But I think that was a wise approach to go with the borings first, and then move forward with the rest of the monies which were appropriated. Yeah, Mr.
And
O'Brien.
another note on that too, there was a letter to the editor last week's transcript with a couple questions about the demolition of the building. That's included in the 4.8. The relocation of the police department during the construction, and so far the architects are telling us, about a year, not more than 12 months. That is also included in that 4.8. No surprises there.
Right. I've had a couple of calls and expressing some concern about the number, and again, my response to was that it does include the relocation, and it does include the demolition and removal of the materials there. And one thing that I did assure the people that had asked the questions was that we have a pretty conservative group of people on the police station building committee that is not going to allow the project to be compromised, but also does not intend, and I would be very surprised if they ever came back to the community looking for another dime in relation to the construction of this project. So, and I know the board would not like to see that happen either. So, I think the 4.8 will do it.
We are also at the present time looking for a site for the police station, relocation. And if any of the public will come up with some good sites, we want town-owned land if possible, town property, no rent involved. We have got some good ideas right now on town property. And we're open to suggestions right now.
Great. As far as your meetings, just for the general public's information, how regularly we meet? Do we have a regular meeting night?
We're meeting almost every week there for a while.
Right.
I mean, every night. But no, we generally meet on a Tuesday, although we can't, there's nothing to, we met last Tuesday, but right now, we can't do anything until we get a report from the architect on just what he's come up with. Because we had hoped to have a presentation, I think, tomorrow night. I don't know if they scheduled it for this room, but they're going to make a presentation on it. But so far we have, like I say, no official word.
Okay.
But we wanted to present facts and figures and pictures and everything to the town.
If you could just, and again, I'm sure the town administrator will be informed too, if you could just keep the board members informed as to when that comes forward, so the liaison too, so.
Yeah, I've been to all the meetings except for last Tuesday because I wasn't available for that one. But as you say, the board, the members are conservative. The initial architect did not win the bid, but he was pretty conservative, and he was line by line. He went through everything, and so there were no surprises, as you said. And some of the members, half of the members, were on the previous police station building committee, so it wasn't new to them. So it was very smooth, the transition, and their watchful eyes. So it worked out very well.
All right, so-
Yeah, I
Mr.
guess
Vino.
just a question, if I may, while we're on that, maybe you can answer it, Jim. Has the new architect agreed that the building could be built at that cost? Or maybe, George, you can answer that?
Far as I know, yes. Again, this is unofficial.
Yeah,
But,
no, I just-
Until we get the boring test back, why it's taking 2 weeks, I don't know. That's why I say I was glad I went down and spoke to the driller himself. I mean, the guy's, with muck on his hands and everything else, and doing this all the time. This is, the architects know what the price is that we're, going for, 4.8.
Right.
So it'll be pretty difficult for them to come back and say, yeah, we'll take that. But again, this is not the job for the architect, no, this is just a job, preliminary plans, the 75,000 was spent.
Right, right.
We're gonna be selecting an architect later on for the 4.8.
Okay.
So therefore, whichever architect we select at the time, he will know that it's 4.8 is the max. In other words, this job, Joe, is just,
I want to agree with you, and I want to say again up front, for the public, I am behind this project 100%, no matter what, but that's not what I was told. I was told we were going to get something comparable to the new building for 4.8. Now, if a new architect comes in and chops off 3,000 more square feet and says, here it is for 4.8, that's not comparable. But I will support it, because I said I would, and I will. But I want to make that clear. I don't want anyone changing their tune in midstream.
No, we've worked too hard at what we have.
I agree. That's why I'm going to support it. But I am expecting to see something comparable,
You
and
saw
that
the
means
plans we
no,
have now?
well, I don't know what you mean by now.
What the plans were that we were getting from the
And I-
previous architect that was
Right.
working with us.
And I was told that was
And-
going to be approximately
18,000.
18,000 square feet. So if I see a plan,
That's
that-
finished space. Plus, you're gonna have space above there, so that say 10 years from now you wanna add into, you will be able to go further.
I agree. I agree. But I mean, if the plan now comes in at 15,000,
No, we're not
okay,
over 50,000.
well, that's not what you said a minute ago.
What did I say a minute
You
ago?
said you inferred it possibly could come in at a lower square footage.
No, I did not.
Oh, okay, then I'm sorry, I misunderstood
No,
you. But I
wait.
will support that also.
I would never say that come in lower footage. I didn't even bring up footage.
I believe the police station building committee is on the same track that you are. They are looking for what they were told for the 4.8 that they could get. And
Right.
that's what they're aiming for. Obviously, you know, somebody throws them a curveball at the end, there will be negotiations, you know,
Right.
to keep it at the 4.8 and the 18,000. You know, when the RFP goes out, and Tom could correct me on this, but when the RFP goes out, those will be two of the criteria that they look for. Is that correct, Tom?
Well, this is how much you have actually, the 4.8 million appropriated, this is what you have to work with.
Mhm.
Obviously, if you go over the 4.8 million dollars, you have to go back to town meeting for
Right.
additional appropriation.
And possibly the ballot.
Again, I want to be perfectly clear to everyone. I am going to support whatever is brought before us for the police department, but they will not do it for 4.8 million with that square footage. And if they do, I'll apologize to every one of them.
Don't
It
apologize.
can't be done.
We'll
Lot.
accept your apology.
It cannot be done. And I will accept yours if it's not done. Thank you.
So,
You see how the figures are based on so many dollars per square foot. So as the building increased from 16,000 back up to 18,000, the 18,000 square feet times that figure.
I
And that's where you
understand
get 4.8, when they added in the relocation, and everything else.
I do understand that.
Okay.
okay, so what are the wishes of the board? In relation to...
Mr. Chairman, I move to support ballot question number 1.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so discussion.
Dr. Chairman, we fully support it.
Yeah, as do I. I think it's, again, everybody's agreed that this is a priority that we have to address in relation to the housing needs of the police station, and I think this will garner much more support where it's going to be in the center of town, which again concerns some people previously. So I hope that people support it. Let us move forward and progress with what we have to in relation to meeting the needs of the police department and support question 1. So on the question before us, move to support question 1. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? It's unanimous. And just on that particular question, Mr. Rowe also wanted the public to know that he is in full support of question 1, and we're going to urge everybody to support it. Question number 2. Again, this is the Bachelor School renovation, reconstruction and renovation of the Bachelor School at its current, Bachelor School facility at the current site. All costs associated with it. In this particular instance, there is no appropriated amount having been approved by town meeting, and I would just like to explain to the general public the way that these debt exclusion votes work. It can work one of two ways. This is if considering favorable action, is that the debt exclusion vote that you're taking on Tuesday authorizes town meeting to set the dollar amount. So town meeting sets the dollar amount, the ballot question authorizes whatever amount town meeting sets. Generally, what we have done here in North Reading up to this point, whenever we've had debt exclusion votes, is the town meeting has set the price figure first, and then when we go to the general public, we know what we're looking at, and we have favorable action from town meeting so that when the debt exclusion is favorable, we move forward with the project. In this particular question, we do not have favorable action by town meeting at this particular time. so that if the public decides to support this question, it would then be subject to a